The European target for renewable energy, which is very helpful to develop the market, to give confidence, includes 20% of energy from renewables by 2020. I think it's 27% by 2030, and heating is a very important part of the renewable energy target. Therefore, we need some sort of heating from energy crops.
For us, we've been involved for a long time in this area of business, and there's not many other companies, so we found our niche, and people tend to come to us when they want help with finding solutions to the problems they have, both looking for land to plant crops and also how to use them and create markets. So that's good for us as a small business, but it hasn't really created an industry as yet, so that's the next thing that needs to be done, hence Rokwood.
SRP depends significantly upon the agronomy that you decide upon. For instance, this field here of poplar is very suited for this climate here in Germany, but the same poplar might not be suitable for Irish climates. So you have to begin on the ground, you have to understand your soil, you have to understand what your yields are going to be, you have to advise the farmer exactly what he is going to expect per hectare per year, and you have to be able to deliver that, and that's really where you need to begin, on the ground with the agronomy. From there you can build your supply chains, everything you need, but you have to understand the agronomy first before you can advise the farmer how best to put in SRP to suit his business.
The absolutely most important thing, finding the market that's right, and knowing what you're going to get for your fuel, the condition that it needs to be in, the specification of the wood chip, the quality that's required, all of these things that your end user requires. Without knowing those, you're unfortunately going to be struggling with finding a buyer for your fuel and making any money out of it. And without that, then it is a recipe for disaster, unfortunately. So knowing your market and how much you can get is absolutely essential.
Okay, SRPs are going to have a long-term benefit, but in the short term, a farmer planting energy crops won't have any income for 3 or 4 years. He has to wait for the crop to grow before it can be sold. Therefore, you need some sort of incentive to cover this period. But at the same time, you need to bear into mind that in the longer term, these energy crops are keeping money in the local economy. The farmer, local people are being paid for energy supply rather than buying energy from anywhere in the world. And also, of course, the benefit of carbon reduction, because the energy crops are carbon neutral. So therefore, it's not really a subsidy. I would count it as an investment.
The main obstacles for our business are getting suitable land to grow the various types of SRP that we wish to grow in Ireland. We're concentrating primarily upon willow. And its access to land has been a challenge over the last number of years, particularly with high incomes coming from alternative sources such as dairy, beef, tillage. So we have to ensure that we can give a similar type of income to a farmer from a SRP product than that other farm enterprises can. So it's the access to the land, and it's ensuring that the farmer gets a good return for the investment that he's putting into his crop.
Yeah, the main obstacles for SRP development, apart from the financial problem in the first few years, is that there's a lot of technical issues regarding the machinery needed to harvest the crops. And in the UK, you need a certain volume of crops grown to make it cost effective to employ the machines to harvest the crops, to plant the crops. So you need a certain capacity of SRP within a certain geographical area before the market will take off.
There are many. We've looked at a lot of this through the Rokwood project, and there's a lack of awareness, misunderstanding by government, poor policies. We are a small sector, and because we don't have the lobbying potential, the lobbying force, we end up being the recipient of poor policy intervention, and as a result of that we have to try and make do with what we can achieve. So we're in a position where we're not achieving what we can do very, very fast, and that has to change. So Rokwood is all about improving the policy potential by making people aware of these crops and the multifunctionality, but also just trying to improve the research and development and the ability for people to talk to each other and learn from each other. So that's what we're trying to do, and hopefully it's going to work out well for us.